Welcome again to another devlog for Game Grumps vs. a Game. This is devlog number 2. In this video I'll be going over what I accomplished in October of 2019. So the first change I made was to improve the launching mechanic. The momentum is now slightly smoother. In addition to this, I've added proper spin falling to after you've been launched. And landing after spin falling now has a proper animation as well. After making these adjustments, I changed the way the air momentum works, giving you more control over how you move while in the air. The next thing I began working on was none other than Dan himself. First, I had to make his model. I already had the body and head from when I made Aaron, so all I had to worry about was the hair. Dan's hair is somewhat complicated, however, so I blocked it out first using some simple shapes. Then I used the tedious technique often used to create simplified versions of very complex meshes called retopology, where you rebuild the mesh completely from scratch. That's how I made his hair, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. With his hair done, I created the texture. Here I made the decision to have certain outlines as part of the texture as opposed to no outlines at all, and went back to add outlines to Aaron's texture as well. Then I started the long process of making whole new animations for each and every action in order to make Dan a more unique character. This is the part that definitely took the longest amount of time. Then I exported Dan as an FBX, brought him into Unity, and started converting all the animations to work with the fighter tools that I built. Putting it simply, each needs to have a very specific name so that the script can find and import them all into the proper locations in the animator. When that was done, I gave Dan his own momentum, so now he moves slightly different than Aaron. Then I added hitboxes to each of his attacks using the tool I previously made for that. And lastly, I added hitboxes to Dan himself. Then he was done. The next thing I did was adjust the interface to allow for changing characters. Along with this, I changed how the game starts. So instead of 4 Aarons, the game starts with 1 Aaron and 1 Dan. Lastly, I sharpened up the textures and turned off mint mapping, so the colors don't blur at the edges. Everything is sharp now. It might be hard to tell here with the video all compressed, so go check out the actual game. You can play it right now. Also, I'd like to thank my patron Joel Fisk for supporting this project. If you'd like to support it or follow this project more closely, check out the links in the description. That's it for now. Bye.